Welcome back to the Mobility Project. This is going out to my kids, Stunner of the Month. I don't know if you're getting your Stunner of the Month. These are called the Kim Jong-ils. I don't know why, but they do make me feel pretty. And this episode is for you, South Korea, or excuse me, not South Korea, of course, North Korea, who's not gone on to MobilityWOD.com at you in Niger. But thanks a lot. We're going to try to pull those guys in tonight. So here's what we got going on. A couple questions have come up. Hey, I saw some perfect push-ups in the MWOD, and I want to talk about the perfect push-up and the perfect push-up use. This is a great device. One is because I can keep my wrists in neutral if I got a wrist problem. Two is it allows me to cultivate torque. A couple of the ideas behind some of the movements that we do is that we're always talking about trying to wind that joint up into a stable position. If I do not create stability actively, then my body will create stability for me in a kind of open circuit faulting position. Closed circuit, stable circuit, boom. Not stable, I have an open circuit, my body will close it off. And we see this all the time. I overextend, knee comes in, hip comes forward. All of these problems are me looking for stability, and my body's going to create a stable surface, a stable problem. This is why kids hyperextend their knees and why athletes hyperextend their elbows. If we don't create stability, your body does it for you. So one of the nice things is that when we see people having push-up problems or shoulder-based problems, one of the issues is that it's difficult to actually see what's going on in the push-up. And typically what happens is with the hand down or not straight, people's elbows end up flying out. The problem is that this is an internally rotated position. The shoulder isn't stable again in flexion until it's externally rotated. Don't pay attention to the arm, pay attention to the shoulder. So if Mark Bell is telling me to bench press and break the bar and spread the bar, what's really going on there is external rotation of the shoulder. That's that stable position. Mike Bergner, my Olympic lifting coach, is telling me to get my armpit forward. That armpit forward is external rotation. Shavasana, yoga, bam, external rotation. You're going to see it over and over again. So here's the deal. What's nice about the push-up or perfect push-up or rings, for example, is that allows me to quickly see how much external rotation is going on the shoulder. So if the athlete is just turning the hand, looks like they're trying to get stable, they're not. And what you're going to see is that in the push-up position, the finished position we like to say is an 11 and 1. And it's here neutral. We want to come back to neutral and we press, and 11 and 1 while we're driving up. So at the start of the tunnel, when I initiate movement, I want to be externally rotated. So as that I descend in a good position, I load correctly, tight, and as I come back up, I corkscrew into the ground. Pavel talked about this ages ago. On the gymnastics rings, it ends up being the same thing. I start at 11 and 1, there's my good stable position, not destable, shoulder internally rotated. So if you throw someone who's having a shoulder problem on the push-ups or on the rings, and they internally rotate, bam, you know that they're starting the tunnel in disorganized position. When we do the Turkish get-up, for example, one of the things that's brilliant about this movement is that it teaches external rotation stability of the shoulder joint through an enormous range of motion. So I start by pressing up, I'm stable, the armpit comes forward, now I'm locked in. As I drive into a good position, the very first thing that I have to do as the shoulder, body comes across the shoulder is not internally rotate, but to externally rotate, create stability. Then as I drive up, I still have to be in a stable position. And here's one of the keys. It's not looking at my hand and letting the shoulder come in. That's a weak position. I'm externally rotating, getting tight. And whether I put myself into an overhead squat, which is full externally rotated positioning, really tight, or I bring that leg through, this moment is where people unlock and their shoulder becomes unstable and you can see them fidget around. So at this moment, externally rotate, I pull up, still driving external rotation when I finish up, I'm in a stable position. Unbelievable amount. So here's what we're going to do tonight. Ode to external rotation. Kim Jong-il, this is for you. We're going to start by opening up the lats and our classic overhead bend in external rotation mode. So I'm overhead, working on that, turn the hand over, 2 minutes of contract, relax, working on being fully externally rotated in this position. Tuck the leg back, tight, 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 release, tight, 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 turn the hand over, keep going. You can use a super friend for that. Hang out, wind on down. Let's get the band a little bit higher. We're going to flip this up into, external rotation again, there it is. Really working on palm up, elbow in, elbow down. This is internally rotated. I'm going to try to externally rotate to that tight position. Palm up, and that's a really tight, externally rotated position where the joint is stable again. Not stable, stable. Hang out here. Let's go 2 minutes, contract 5 seconds, release 10 seconds. Finally, we'll come across the body, or you can start here, where I'm going to just externally rotate, let that thing come off, and then I'm going to back across. So this is horizontal abduction. This is not internal rotation. My arm's coming across the body. I maintain externally rotate at the shoulder, and then I wind up the tissues behind, contract, relax, and across. Some ideas about diagnosing shoulder positioning. You've got to enter the tunnel in a good position, not starting in a bad position, making it worse. Good position leads to good position. We'll see you tomorrow.